Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I'm got another call-in show for you tonight. So if you would like to be on air with me, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead and call it 270-612-2275. That's 270-612-2275. I had some audio and internet issues last week, so I apologize to all of you that tried to watch some of it and then abandoned pretty quickly. Hopefully it's better tonight. If it's not, go ahead and let me know, and I'll try to remedy that while in show. So you'll get to watch the sausage get made, as it were. But like I said, if you want to call in, go ahead and do that at 270-612-2275. It's at the bottom of the screen, so I won't continue to say that over and over again. But thank you so much. It is Thanksgiving week. I just had my early Thanksgiving with my mother-in-law and extended family, my brothers and sisters-in-law down in Alabama this weekend. So that was a lot of fun. Had some good Thanksgiving fixins and the like. But I want to hear what you guys want, what you're thankful for this year. So give me a call at that number and tell me what you're thankful for, whiskey related. I'd like to hear it. But yeah, we went down to Alabama. We had a turkey. We had, the casseroles and the like. I am looking forward to having double Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. So I get to have it here at home this coming weekend, but had it once down there already. So that was a lot of fun. But I'm also going to do another blind flight tonight. So since last week was kind of a bust with my audio, my wife set up a second round blind flight for me. So I've got 3 in front of me, and I'll get to that in a minute. And I have got the different challenge coins are the way I'm differentiating them. So this is the podcast coin, which is available at thepodcast.com/store. If you are interested in that. On the front, it has our logo. It looks like a barrel head. Let's see if I can get the camera to zoom in. Block my face. So it looks like a barrel head, has our logo with the microphone and the glass. And then you flip it around and it says, "We don't know Jack, but we'll drink it." And that darker line, that ridge, fits perfectly on top of a Glencairn. So pretty nifty there. Melissa made those for us, Melissa Shriver. The second glass I have is the Flannel Panel coin. If you don't follow Flannel Panel, you should on YouTube. They're a lot of fun. Some of our closest friends, especially in this hobby, are the ones that do that. They do it every Wednesday, a group of them do. So Ty Gallenbeck, Ian Campbell, Jason Newman, Troy Couts, Corey Reeves, and other guests hop on from time to time as well. But Flannel Panel live stream, Flannel or Die, is on this side. The tails side of the coin, or heads, I don't know which way you look at it, is Wendy's Lost Boys Bar, Neverland, USA. It's a little logo that the Natalie uses as her home bar, and that's Peter Pan being drawn to Wendy that's holding a Glencairn. And this is the Flannel Panel side, but check them out. Go ahead and subscribe. They're good friends of ours. And then the final one is a coin I got from Chuck, our buddy Chuck, who is Special Forces, U.S. Special Forces in the Army. And this is from his team. And it's like a PBR logo, but it says probably the best. And then on the other side has another insignia. It has the Colorado flag and the American flag because they are based out of Colorado. So I'm going to get to it, but if you want to give me a call and tell me what you're thankful for this year, I'm going to take it. I planned ahead because last time I didn't have a 15. The audio wasn't working. People were dropping off. But I planned ahead, and I'll do a 15 as well tonight. So I've got some things planned. I'm going to get into that, but I really do want you to call that number and chat with me. Tell me what you're thankful for in whiskey and hobby and friendship. I think it'd be fun. It'd be uplifting. It'd be positive for this time of year. So let's go ahead and get those coming in. There was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. I'd appreciate that. So go ahead and do that. That helps more people find out about it. And comment in the stream as well. I can also take those. So let's see what we're getting to. before I go on, am I having that audio issue I had last week where it was kind of highly compressed and like almost like it was being ducked? Is that happening at all, or am I set this week? Sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of water. No one's complained so far, so it should be pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this blind flight and get after it. Also, I am gonna do a short after party tonight. So go ahead, and if you're a patron, you get that. And any level of Patreon at patreon.com/thepodcast gets the after party. And I put a link in the post. I already put the link for the YouTube video. It's an unlisted video, so you can only get it if you are a patron. But I also put the link for the StreamYard if people want to hop on, since it's just me and trying to kind of keep that rolling. Sometimes can be a little different, a little interesting, but I'm going to do it so you guys can hop on as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But no one's called in yet, which is about how this goes typically at this point. Someone's got to break the ice. I put the post in Podcasters earlier and said you've got 4 hours to come up with something you're thankful for. Let's get some positivity going. Let's get some stuff going. Let's go ahead and get those phone calls in at 270-612-2275. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start drinking out of the podcast glass. So last week, I'll tell you what whiskeys these aren't. So last week, the blind flight was Wild Turkey Master's Keep 17 year, which is, super low proof, like 86 or 84 proof, but cask strength. Had that to begin with. Second one was an Old Soul store pick from Red Dog. And then the final was Baker's 7 year, and the Baker's was fantastic in it. The Wild Turkey 17 felt like it had a lot of airtime and was lower proof. So that one did not take a hit, but I thought it was rhetoric, because it definitely felt ultra aged, and the lower proof compared to the others that were both 107, I believe. It was very noticeable in contrast, but the Old Soul was good and the other was good. But I know it's not those three, because she had me remind her which three she poured so that she wouldn't repeat them. So I'm going to go ahead and go into glass A, or podcast. And okay, this smells kind of like a Buffalo Trace product, but I don't know that it is. Oh, 2 callers are calling in. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go. Kim has called in. Kim Schwartz. Kim, you're on the air.
Hey, Will.
How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Good. How was your birthday?
It was fantastic.
So Kim had a 50th birthday party in Louisville, which consisted of a full day of whiskey drinking. You almost had a mini whiskey weekend, all to yourself and your close friends and family. Did it pan out? It was everything you had dreamed it would be?
It was awesome. I was very humbled and blessed with the graciousness of my family and friends who came down to celebrate and gave me some really amazing gifts in addition to the gift of them just being there.
That's awesome. That's a super fun thing when you get a milestone party, but then being kind of a destination party and planned exactly the way you want it and getting to spend it with close friends and family. I don't know that anyone could beat that.
Yes. And my brother-in-law gave me a bottle of Pappy 23 year.
Nice. There you go. Did you open it, or are you saving it for a special occasion?
That was a special occasion. I immediately opened it.
Perfect. I guess, yes, that's on me. That is one of the most special occasions you're going to have, right? Landmark birthday with friends and family.
Yes.
How much of the bourbon did you drink that night?
Of that bottle?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably less than a quarter. Like, we had my brother-in-law and I, of course, took the first sips, and then there were a few other people there who really appreciated and they tried it, but that's kind of about it. We had a lot for people to share in.
That's super cool. Other than obviously that moment, what were two big highlights for you of the birthday?
I would say everybody loved my little Kimmy pictures that were playing on the big screen.
Yeah.
And people just sat there and watched it, and I had about 120 slides with 1 to 2 pictures per slide.
That's awesome.
So there was a lot. And then we started telling stories and remembering and reminiscing. And so that was fantastic. I would say the other thing is a good friend of mine's husband does not really like bourbon, but he bought 2 bottles at Peerless.
Oh, so I love that one of your highlights was someone appreciating your hobby, right? Like you getting to see someone
Absolutely.
else start to enjoy it so much that they would make a purchase. That's really cool.
Yep.
Well, Kim, have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy birthday. Tell Mark we said hello. And I
will. Thank you so much.
I'm going to hop back to this blind tasting, but you have a good night, and I'll see you probably in the after party, I assume.
Yep, we'll be there.
Very good. All right. That was super fun. I've got Troy calling in. Troy, if you can hold for a minute, I'm going to talk about this delightful whiskey. So I don't know what she poured, but it kind of reminds me of E.H. Taylor Small Batch. Solid in the pocket. Very classic bourbon flavor. Not too old, but 6 or 7 years old. Not too hot. It could be less than 100 proof. It could be something else. Then that's 90 proof. I don't think I have any open Buffalo Trace, but honestly, it could just be a standard Buffalo Trace. But yeah, that's a solid first pour. So I'm going to put my guess. I'm going to write down guesses, and then I'm going to go to Troy. Troy's there. Let's see. Or podcast, I'm going to say is E.H. Taylor. So 100 proof. And I'm going to say it's a small batch. And let's say 6 years old. See if I get any of those right. Although it does kind of taste 90 proof. All right, Troy, while I start nosing this one, Mr. Flannel Panel himself, and it's appropriate because I am going to the Flannel Panel coin. Troy, you're on the air.
Awesome. I'm sure that coin will probably taste the best.
Well, it typically does. It's probably Booker's or something.
Well, I appreciate you plugging this every week with your taste.
Yeah, man. Hey, when you've got the advertisement right there on the coin, you might as well give the shout outs, right?
All the help we get.
What y'all have? Are y'all doing one the day before Thanksgiving this week?
I believe so. Last I heard, we were. So yeah.
Y'all have anything special planned? Last week was cool because it was Corey live painting, which is not something you see very often.
I was excited about that. I kept falling into just watching him paint and forget that I was on the show.
Yeah, everyone. That's Corey Reeves, who's one of the Flannel Panel members. I wish I could show it right here because I have a piece of his art in my whiskey room here, my library, and he does really, really cool modern art. And 813 Whiskey House is his Instagram handle, but it's 813 Art House. Is that what it's?
Yeah. Yep. I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's 813 Art House on Instagram. If not, go look up Flannel Panels or 813 Whiskey House. I'm sure he's tagged it. So, super cool art. He's got one here and he kind of incorporated an allusion to our whiskey glass circle in the art. So he brought that to me at Whiskey Weekend back in Louisville back this spring. So super cool. But do you guys have anything on the docket this week that you're specifically hitting, or are you just going to figure that out?
No, I don't really know what our subject or our topic is this week. We probably be something Thanksgiving related.
Yeah, but you're the social media manager, Troy. You are the social media manager. You should know.
Which is a total joke because I don't know anything about Instagram, and I just keep trying to post stuff, and it's failing miserably.
My favorite thing is I know you haven't been drinking because you just self-censored yourself, and I heard you said, I don't know anything about Instagram. So I think you need to pour yourself a stout whiskey on Monday night.
Yeah, no, I got to save up for Whiskey Wednesday. I got, if I'm not careful, I'm just drunk every day. You know what I mean?
I get it, man. I get it. And I think Corey would, or not Corey, Casey would say that's because you live in Ohio, but that's his words, not mine. Yeah. I'm putting those in his mouth.
Seriously, what's wrong with that guy?
All right, man. Well, I'm going to get on to Glass B. Thanks for calling. Do you have anything you'd like to say you're thankful for this year? Well, that was my point. No.
Yeah. I don't want to get mushy because I'm not a very sentimental guy, but I just wanted to say that I'm thankful for you and Grease because before I met you two, I was just some guy drinking by myself in Ohio. So I've made a lot of good friends to you guys.
Well, I appreciate it. Man. Well, and now you just drink by yourself, but with other people on the internet. So it works out. Yeah, but
it feels better.
It does. It does. Yeah. All right, man. Well, you have a good night. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Troy is salt of the earth, one of my favorite people on this planet. And one of one of the few podcasters I've gotten to actually drink with him in his home bar. So that's like a top 5 podcast life event for me, was getting to go hang out with him. And it was, we had samples of BTAC that they had sent us, I think that year. And I took all of them because we still had a good amount left and took them up to Troy's. And so we had the full lineup of BTAC at his house that night. So that was a lot of fun and unique, but a good memory that I will definitely never forget. So I also learned about Trail Bologna, which is a really great, that part of Ohio thing. I think it's from Trail, Ohio is why they call it that. But Trail Bologna, it's like a summer sausage kind of charcuterie meat that is really good. I really like it. And Troy brings me some every year to Whiskey Weekend. So that's been a perk of the job, as they say. All right. So this glass, I'm going to get into this one. And once again, y'all keep calling at 270-612-2275 and tell me what you're thankful for. Troy did it. And if Troy can do it, I know that y'all's phones will work. So give me a call. Well, I know this one. This one's a little bit more floral. Some like potpourri almost to it. Let's see. It's hotter. I'm going to say 105 proof. Could be a little bit hotter. What is that? I'm going to look around. I don't know what that is. Definitely hotter. Longer finish than A. I don't know what that one is. I'm going to move on to C. while I'm talking about C, I want you guys to give a thumbs up on this video. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not. And if you want to be a patron and or supporter of the podcast, go to patreon.com/the podcast. It helps all this continue. And we have a lot of fun over there. We do something called Town Hall, where we do a Zoom call with people, and we stay up too late and we drink too much on a school night. And we also do a virtual barn night, but I think all those slots are taken. But then if you just want a little bit of action, just want to support us, you can do a lower level and you'll get the after party. So after party's fun because it's extended time. It's like we hit the end of the show and we go just hang out for a little bit. And tonight, the post is already up. You can get the link to join the after party for a few minutes with me. So if you didn't want to call with this public facing, you can actually hop on StreamYard. So, oh, this one may be a rye. I'm also battling some allergies. So I've been taking some like Flonase and stuff. So the old sniffer's a little off. Not that it was ever perfect or anything, but did anyone, so this is my public radio nerd in me. Wait, Don't Tell Me is the NPR news quiz show. It's on once a week, and it's a comical quiz show all about events in the news and things like that. There's normally a panel of 3 comedians. They're not always like real comedians. They're like public radio comedians. So take that with a grain of salt. But they, hosted by Peter Sagal, used to be Carl Castle was the announcer voice, but he has passed away. But Peter Sagal's the host, and they were in Louisville doing like a live show of it. I've actually gone and see it live in person, but it was in Louisville this last week, and they had Freddie Johnson. They normally have like a celebrity guest, and so their local celebrity guest when they were in Louisville was Freddie Johnson, and you should go just skip to his part, even if you don't want to listen to the whole thing. They have it's in podcast form, so you can go to any podcast app and get Wait, Don't Tell Me. And he's just so funny. And because the hosts and everything don't know a ton about bourbon, as a matter of fact, they don't know a ton about Kentucky in general. The host, Peter Sagal, had one like call-in guest, was a listener that got to play along, and she said she's a freelance turf writer, so she writes about horse racing. And he said, "What do you like better, Churchill Downs or Neyland?" As like Neyland Stadium, the Tennessee Volunteers home stadium. And she goes, "Don't you mean Keeneland?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Keeneland." So that was whatever. But so he doesn't know a ton about what he's doing there. But Freddie Johnson, he intros him, Peter Sagal intros him as the son of a distillery worker who's the son of a distillery worker who's the son of a distillery worker. And Freddie Johnson leads off with, "Yeah, I was conceived in Rickhouse C, the lower tier." And I like, especially that lower tier little jab is like the most bourbon geek joke ever. And I was cracking up in the car on my ride home today when I was listening to that. So he gets into the quiz part, but you should go listen to it because there was probably 5 minutes of content where he talks with Freddie about bourbon a little bit. Freddie talks about how he likes to drink bourbon on the rocks. And he also talks about when he doesn't, how he's drinking whiskey is depends on his mood. And his friends know if they're driving by and they see Freddie on the back porch with a cigar and a bourbon neat, that they'll just honk the horn and keep on driving. Don't even think about stopping by. So I thought it was kind of a fun, humorous, another look at Freddie. But you should go ahead and check that out. All right, I'm going to move on to this one. And while I'm drinking this one, a few of y'all are going to call in and talk to me and tell me what you're thankful for. So Kim and Troy already have gold stars in my heart because of that. But the rest of you can just, get on there too. This one definitely feels like a rye. Definitely a rye. Not an older rye. But I mean, it doesn't drink too hot, but my first, I don't know. All right, I've got one caller calling in, and I didn't catch the auto screener didn't catch the name. So I'm trying to deduce what rye this is. I'm going to put you on the air. All right, who am I talking to? You're on the air.
It's Roger Randall.
Roger, how's it going?
How you doing? Well,
Doing well.
good, buddy.
What are you thankful for?
You're
This
deducing the rye.
I am deducing the
Well,
rye.
main thing I'm thankful for is all the good bourbon friends I've met over the last 2 years, and the community involved with all that, and how giving everybody is about letting you know, hey, if you're looking for a special bottle, how many people will call you, on their way home. Hey, I saw this at someplace, and you want me to go pick it up for you?
Yep.
And that makes the community, that makes it a lot more fun, a lot different than a lot of other groups and organizations you'd be involved with.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I'll second you on that. Is that it's there's definitely two sides to it. There are the people that are in it for the wrong reasons and the bragging and the things of that. But if you're watching this show, you'll quickly know that that's not the kind of community we have around people in the podcast and in the other groups as well, like ADHD Whiskey and the Bourbon Junkies, and it's Bourbon Night. It's all about making friends, having a good community, and just having a centralized focus of what our hobby is. But at the end of the day, the whiskey could all be the same, and we'd still end up being good friends, I think, because it's so much more than just what you're pouring. It's who you're pouring it with.
Totally agree. I got, you want to know what something tastes like, you can jump on your guys' show, listen to your reviews, and you can always hear about what's happening and what's going on. And hey, I want to give that a try. I might not willing to try something. You guys might talk about it. Hey, I'll give it a try.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling. You drinking anything fun tonight?
Drinking the Booker's Batch 3, the Kentucky tea.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
It is a really, really good one. In fact, I picked up an extra for the bunker.
Smart. Those Bookers are harder to find these days. So, I like
very hard, but when you got friends, they'll hunt you up one if you need it.
Very cool. Well, Robert, thank you so much for calling. I've got one other call, so I'm going to go to that one right now. But you have a good evening.
See you later, Will.
And I think I lost my call. So it's just me again. Let's see. Oh, I did do something fun today. I don't know what this rye is. Goodness gracious. It's right behind me. I'm going to guess just because I'm doing that thing. I think it's a Smooth Ambler Contradiction rye. I'm just doing that because it's the only one I can think of. I know I've had it. It's a little earthy. It could be a Willet 4-year. It doesn't taste that high of proof. I'm going to say 100 proof. And I'm going to say Contradiction. All right, so I'm going to read these. I'm going to see how far off I was. All right. Dadgummit. I was so far off. You guys have no idea. You're about to know. Also, Samantha did a really good job and a very tricky job. They were all ryes. So very good. She had a really good blind flight. So the first one that I said was E.H. Taylor small batch, 100 proof, 6 years old. It's actually Old Overholt rye. It's 92.6 proof. So I did say it could be 90 proof, but yeah. It was it was not Buffalo Trace product. It was Old Overholt, which is made by Jim Beam Distillery. And this, I believe, is the 11-year rye, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have 114 proof Old Overholt. I don't have the bottle and bond, so I think it's the 11-year rye. So it's got some age on it. So more of the sweetness came through. That's where I was maybe leaning towards a younger Buffalo Trace product. But a lot of barrel influence, but it was definitely not Buffalo Trace. So my second one, I said, was 105 proof. The finish is longer. It honestly, for it being what it is, and the difference between 92.6 proof to 119.6, this was a Knob Creek cast strength rye, which I wonder which that is. Because I thought all the Knob Creek ryes were 115. So I'm not certain of what that one is or where it is. Samantha, if you are watching, tell me where that bottle is and I'll grab it. And I'll do some investigating. Because it may be actually let me Google this. Knob Creek rye 119.6. There was the yes. Okay. Yes. It's the it's actually a limited release that was from a few years ago. It was the single barrel. I figured out which one it was. So it was the 2009. So I think it was a 10-year-old because I think it came out in 2019. But it was one of the limited release ones. So it had that like little gold emblem. I was thinking it was a barrel pick, but it was actually the release that was 119.6. So that was fun. Yes, Brian is correct. He said special release from a few years ago, barreled in 2019, bottled in 2009, but I think it was barreled in 2009. I think it was bottled in 2019. So I think it was a 10-year release. So that's actually a fun one. I thought I drank all that. I think I took that to a barn night one time, actually. So, let's see. PBR coin. This final one. This is one of my favorite ryes. And that's why it's funny. I thought it was a contradiction. I'm terrible at this. I haven't done blind tasting in quite a while, so I need to start doing it again. But it was the Lot 40 12-year-old cast strength, and it was 110 proof. So that's Canadian rye, and I love those Lot 40s. I've had the 10-year, the 11-year, and the 12-year. Ian Campbell has helped me get those, they're amazing. I don't think they're doing those years anymore. They did a specific one. I forget what it was this year. It was a little bit different. It wasn't just like 13 years, but those Lot 40 cast drinks, they did a 10-year, an 11-year, and a 12-year, and they are delicious. And as I go back to it, I remember all the things I loved about it. Opens up my mind now that I know what I'm drinking. So that was a really fun flight. I appreciate that, Samantha, for your help being producer on this episode. That was really helpful. And I got to drink 3 really good things. All 3 ryes and from 3 completely different places. So, but actually 2 of them from the same company. So Old Overholt and Knob Creek, both Beam Suntory products, both from the Jim Beam Distillery, I believe. Old Overholt rye, 11-year. The Knob Creek cast strength rye, and the Lot 40 12-year-old cast strength rye. So Very fun. I'm going to go to the 15 here in a minute, but I did want to talk about one thing real quick. And that's also going to give you some time to call in and tell me what you're thankful for. And you can do that at 270-612-2275. Go ahead and give me a call and chat with me for a minute. But I went to a liquor store actually to get this bottle for the 15 and went to go get something I hadn't had. And when I went in, there was a little placard by where they keep their store picks. And it said something to the effect of, we have allocated products sprinkled throughout the store, hidden. If you find one, don't leave like the others. Don't go try to find them all. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and spend more time here than I was planning on. So I got this bottle, picked up some wine, and just went around the store and I actually found 4 or 5 of them. And now when I say allocated, they weren't allocated like BTAC or Four Roses LE or Pappy. But they were allocated in the sense that if you're buying whiskey in Tennessee, these aren't sitting on the shelf. So the first one I found was a barrel strength bullet bourbon, which is actually a really, really good pour. It's like $49 and it's a really solid whiskey. The next one I found was I found a Booker's, and it's one that I already have, but it was sitting there. So I left that and kept on looking because I could only take one. Found several bottles of Buffalo Trace. I found an IW Harper. That's I think Cabernet finish. It's whatever that new finished IW Harper is. And then I found torking. That's a weird word. That's not real word. Towards the end, over by the Campari, I found a bottle of the of just Sazerac rye. Found a couple of bottles of Buffalo Trace as well. And I went ahead and bought the Sazerac rye because I haven't seen Baby Saz on the shelf in quite a while, and I love it. I think it's a really solid rye, 90 proofer. I don't mind mixing it with stuff, but I also like drinking it neat. And so I picked up that bottle. So that was kind of fun. And it reminded me of times of old, a few years ago, when you could go into a store and actually look for whiskey and get excited about what's on the shelf. Like now I feel like the only things you're going to see sitting on the shelf are things that you're going to see in every store. It's become very homogenized. Even those like the Buffalo Traces, the Eagle Rares, the Baby Sazes, the Bookers aren't just sitting on the shelves anymore. They're something that you have to get an Instagram post or have a friend tell you, as Roger was telling us, which fortunately we have that. But it did make me miss those times where when people would talk about hunting for bourbon, it actually was fun. Like, oh, I'm just going to stop in this store and see what they have. I'm going to stop in this store and see what they have. At this point in the game, the only reason to do that really is stopping in to see what store picks they have. The whole hunting for whiskey and walking into a store and finding something is pretty much dead. So at least in our part of the country. So it kind of gave me a little bit of a thrill and like a reminder of the fun we used to have, especially around this time of year, because stores would do that with bigger bottles. Weller 12, maybe not BTAC, but maybe a Four Roses LE, things like that, Midwinters. Those were the kinds that they were hiding around the store and giving a little scavenger hunt for. So it was something I'm like, man, I miss this. I miss the fun, the thrill of it, of going shopping for whiskey. Something that is harder to do now. Like I go to the store if I need whiskey, but it's a different kind of hunt if I want something more than just what's available at any liquor store. There's also less of a need to go to different liquor stores because they're all basically going to have the same stuff. So just a little soapbox of what I miss and what I wish we had more of. And that is variety at different stores. So I'll still go in and check out store picks. I still do it. When I was in Alabama this weekend, I went in and picked up a bottle of virgin bourbon, which is Heaven Hill product, 101 proof. Used to be age stated. It's not anymore. But it's like $15 after tax. So definitely a solid pickup. I use it for old fashions, use it for hot toddies, which I'll probably do tonight because working on this throat a little bit, and you can hear I'm a little bit sinusy. But that's okay. I've got another caller. It's Jason. I'm going to put him on the air. Jason, what's up? You're on the air, buddy.
Hello. I thought I'd stuck here at work, so I thought I would bend your ear for a second.
Yeah, you can't drink while you're at work, but you can definitely
I
talk,
know.
right?
Yeah, probably better.
What do you got going on tonight?
Well, since Nat's about 30 miles away, she can't come ambush me. So I thought I would call and talk what I'm thankful for, and that is that woman, the Nat.
The Natalie.
And it's the Natalie, especially, even in whiskey terms, she is so integral for me because when we started this whole thing, I remember it. I was getting ready for work. I was listening to your podcast for the first time. I did a search for whiskey channels and I found you all, and you guys had just got back from the pod cruise and you had announced Whiskey Weekend. And I stopped and I went into the other room and she was finishing up her sessions and I said, "Hey, can we go to the middle of Kentucky and spend the weekend with people we don't even know, talking about stuff we're not even familiar with?" And she just said, "Yes, let's do it." And she's always been right there, not just allowing me per se, or that kind of thing. She generally took an interest in what I'm interested in, and as we all know, she has excelled in it and as an integral part in the podcast, and I love her for it. And thanks, Nat. So,
Well, Jason, you have the authority to speak on her greatness because you get to be around her daily. But I can't but agree with you and echo the sentiment that both you and Natalie, but Natalie especially, you both have been a very key part of us continuing what we're doing. And I know for both Grease and I that you guys have been a voice of reason to us. You have been listeners. You have been supporters. You have been constructive criticism. You've been very much big brother and big sister to us, and we love that. And honestly, we wouldn't even be where we are. We wouldn't probably even be doing what we're doing if it weren't for Jason and Natalie. Y'all are very much a part of the podcast itself. So you're ingrained in the lore of this entire thing. So yeah, I'm thankful for both of you. I know that I bug you guys way too much when I've got questions or just want to spitball or ping pong some ideas off people. And you're also an example of what we aspire the community to look like. The care y'all have, not just for Grease and I, but for dozens of people, directly dozens. I mean, the whole community, yes, but dozens of people directly within this community. And I see it. I've used it as examples. I've used you and Natalie as examples of what a community is supposed to be, not even just around whiskey. With friends and with family and trying to describe, like when trying to describe what we do, you can just call it a podcast. You can just call it an event. You can do all that, but that doesn't really describe what the community is. And it's hard to describe it. So giving examples of things that you and Natalie have done to personally touch our lives and other people in our community's lives is the easiest way to do that, because y'all are a really good example of how to love on people well and to just make people feel special and feel loved, even when you barely know somebody. So I thank you and Natalie for that immensely.
well, thank you for those kind words. I mean, I couldn't reflect them anymore. I mean, now I'm speechless. Now I'm wasting airtime, but
No, you're
yeah, like just the chat filling, and there's so many people, and it's, anybody that's new, and even to the new, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. That was Randall. Welcome.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, Randall.
it's your first hour here, or you've been here for years. You guys are really special. The community, the people, and it's a labor of love. So,
Well, I'm gonna let you get back to work. What's the energy drink of choice that you got tonight before you go?
today is the blueberry the pomegranate blueberry Red Bull.
I looked for that after you
Mhm.
mentioned it on our town hall the other night because we were driving to and from Birmingham, and I normally drink Red Bull when I'm driving. And
Oh, that one, the fig apple. The fig apple is the best.
I couldn't find either of them. They didn't have them in the gas station of choice. Maybe it was a little too fancy for the Flying J that I was in, but
We'll see if we can remedy that.
there we go. All right, Jason, you have a good night. I'm going to get to the 15.
Take care,
here.
man.
Bye. That was a great call to end on. If anyone else does want to call, you can still, because I'll be on here for probably about 10 more minutes as I do this 15. So you guys can still get a call in if you'd like at 270-612-2275. But if not, I'll end it after the 15. So a few weeks back, not a few weeks, just a couple months ago, we did a episode of I Can't Believe I've Never Bought That, which is a series we do where I go to the store and I look at something that's been staring at me on the shelf for a long time. And I'm like, can't believe I've never bought that. So I buy it. And I go home and take it to Grease's and we cut a video. We did the pipe dream from Redwood Empire a few months back. It's up there. It's on our channel if you're a subscriber. If not, you can go to the videos. It has like a neon blue liquor store sign with me and Grease. And the title is, Redwood Empire Pipe Dream. And everyone told us we did it wrong because that's like the least liked Redwood Empire. I think we were both a pass on that. So everyone told us that we should have done the Lost Monarch. So I thought I would do that tonight because I've never had it. Actually, this could be. I can't believe I've never bought that episode. So here it is, fresh crack. Got it at the store this afternoon, and people are gonna. Can't believe you're doing a fresh crack. Well, that's how I roll. That's how we do this. So put that in there. Lost Monarch is a blend of straight whiskeys. Lost Monarch is a redwood tree, I believe. And I got 2 callers calling in. Awesome. I'm going to go to them in a second. So it's aged at least 3 years. It's a blend of straight rye whiskey and straight bourbon whiskeys aged at least 3 years. Aging our barrels in a temperate climate of the Northern California coast allows for slow and even extraction of flavor, producing a whiskey of exceptional balance and complexity. I'm going to take a caller while I start nosing this. This is a Nashville local and a buddy that I got to hang out with at Whiskey Weekend. John White, you are on the air. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Will, how are you? Long time no see.
Absolutely. Good to hear your voice again, my friend.
Yep. I just wanted to say I'm thankful for the whole whiskey community. I work in a local liquor store here, as you know, and
plug the store, man.
Been really good
tell
to
folks
me.
that come into the area to go see you. Tell them where you work.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I work at Sinkers in Inglewood. It's part of Nashville, East Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm there in the mornings. So
people
we
should
got
go.
a great Buffalo Trace pick right now.
People should go to Sinkers. They should ask for John. See him. You won't miss him. You'll never forget him. He's got a great beard. And then hang out in East Nashville a little bit. Go shopping, go get some good food, and go to Redheaded Stranger and get a fancy crunch wrap.
Yeah. And I also am thankful for my family. I have 8 grandkids, 3 children, and I'm a very lucky man.
You're very blessed, man. I love it. Well, thank you for
All right.
calling.
Well,
And
that was all I wanted to say.
yeah, I'm thankful that I got to hang out with you and get to know you a little bit at Whiskey Weekend Batch 4 in Louisville. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, man.
Yeah, I'll be at batch 5. I got my tickets already.
Looking forward to it. All right. Well, you have a good evening and a happy
All right, Will.
Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you too. Thank you.
And one more caller before I get into my review of this Lost Monarch. I'm nosing it right now. But we've got the radio man himself, the proprietor of the 813 Whiskey and Art House. Corey Reeves, you're on the air.
Am I on?
You're on.
Is this live?
Yeah. First time, long time, eh?
Hey, yeah, first time caller, long time listener, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing real good today. So, you know, when you have a good night, I appreciate you trying to make everyone cry on a Monday, which is a way to go for the show. But
I mean, it's a short week. It's
yeah,
essentially
so-
Wednesday, right? Because, you know.
Well, and it
Tuesday-
ends with food and shopping, so some people are going to be super happy.
Yeah.
So, in a little random morning show trivia this morning on the morning show, I read an article and it made me think of this today. So it's appropriate to call in. It said the average person has 4 people that they could call upon for anything as like good friends, relatives, or neighbors. And I just kind of thought that if you've got whiskey friends, you've probably got significantly more than 4. So how lucky are we?
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it is the perfect description of the community, is that we are so much better off than just the average people because of our hobby we chose was whiskey. And it allowed us to fall into a really cool community of people that will drop anything and come be there for you.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of starts out as being a little bit of a tasteful adventure. And then it really just turns into becoming significantly less about what you drink and more who you drink it with.
Mm-hmm.
And then, life's about storytelling. And I think that we've probably all got the best stories too.
So I mentioned earlier in, I don't know if you caught it, but I was talking about Freddie Johnson was on Wait, Don't Tell Me. And he, which is the NPR news quiz show once a week. But he was talking and he said there's 3 unspoken rules of whiskey if you've got a good bottle. And the first one is if you've got a good bottle, you don't bring it out if you don't like the people. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's unspoken. It goes without saying, right? It's pretty easy. The second one is that if you have a good bottle and you're with people you like enough to bring it out, you get to tell the story of how you got the bottle, because there's got to be a story involved. That's another good one. And then the final one he said is if you're going to open that bottle with people, you can't do it in a hurry or something to that effect. Like, you better be ready to take some time sitting there telling stories and enjoying it with people that you care to drink it with. And we've talked about Freddie a lot on our show. We've gotten to hang out with him at the distillery, and I really think he is the kind of the patron saint of community in bourbon, because almost every time he's talking, even though he's promoting the brand that he works for, he keeps bringing it back to those important touch points and moments. So I think that we can all learn a lot from that.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever he speaks, he has an astounding way of capturing like the heart of the conversation in a way that's just incredibly captivating. So if you ever get the chance, if he's speaking or giving a presentation, we got lucky enough. He led the tour that we were on last time we were at Buffalo Trace. I think that if he's not the best dude on the planet, he's in the running.
Right.
So it's
top 5, right?
He's a special human being. Yeah, exactly. Top 5. Well, man, I'll turn you loose for your review.
I appreciate
but
it.
I did want to end by saying that I'm thankful for you, my brother. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, my friend. And I'm glad to call you friend. And you are one of those people I know that I could call on and talk with because I've done it. So I appreciate your friendship.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Corey Reeves, everyone, is salt of the earth and just an all-around great guy and someone that you want to know. So definitely go look at his art, though. 813 Art House. And if I'm saying that wrong, someone put it in the chat and correct me. But I know it's 813 Whiskey House is definitely a way you can find him. And then follow down a rabbit trail, because everyone needs something to do when they're laying in bed at night and put off going to sleep. So I'll do this last one. I'm going to actually shut down the call-in line. Thank you, everyone, for participating and playing along at home. But I'm going to throw up this while I'm there. So drop that call-in line. So you can't call in. Calls are closed. Lines are busied. This smells really good. I was fully committed to, whenever someone tells me like you did it wrong, like when we did the pipe dream, the Lost Monarch, the Lost Monarch's the one, right? I'm like, already I'm like, well, I'm going to guarantee I'm not going to like it. So based off the nose, I haven't tasted it yet. Nose is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and say I maybe end up liking it. Okay. It's 90 proof, so it doesn't have a ton of finish on it. Sweet. It's got a cedar palate to it. Very woody. Doesn't taste 3 years old. Tastes like it's got whiskeys of higher age. It's minimum of 3. So, and I believe I looked on their website earlier before the show, and it says that. So that's where it was interesting, because this is Lost Monarch blend of straight whiskeys. And I wonder if there are other Lost Monarchs. Because the one that is the website, it says a proprietary blend of house distilled and carefully sourced rye whiskeys. And okay. Got it. That's where I misread it. So it is a house distilled and carefully sourced rye whiskey and a mature stocks of 4, 5, and 11-year-old bourbon aged in classic high char American oak casks. So for a second, I thought it was only rye that they were saying on the website, but the 4, 5, and 11-year-old bourbons definitely am getting, however much, even if it's just a tiny bit, the stocks of the bourbon are putting it over. Getting the sweetness from the bourbon, getting some of the maturity, and then that cedar note, I'm guessing, is coming from their rye. It is not a bad whiskey at all. I want to see how it opens up. It is 90 proof, so the finish is pretty short. Nose is good. Nose is more rye, but almost like Rittenhouse rye because it has that bourbon in it. Rittenhouse has that lower rye content mash bill. I think I paid $35 for it. I think that's probably a range, probably $30 to $40 range is where we're going to see it. Yeah, for $35, it's solid. It really is. $35 is like the new $20, unfortunately, because prices have gone up so much. This is a solid bourbon. I mean, honestly, it's not a bourbon. It's a blend of whiskeys, but I'll probably buy on this. I want to do like a $35 roundup. I just want to buy like 4, 5, 6 bottles for $35 and just say, buy these 2 and just forget the rest. You know, like that's more effective reviewing at this point. It has to be on the shelf. Can't be something like Baby Saz that's harder to find. Yeah, I mean, you got to go something like this. You could probably put Maker's Mark because that's like $35 now. I'd say throw that George Dickel 8-year bourbon on there because I like that. Pretty bullish on that these days. And just do it like that's how we should start doing reviews. Just be like, all right, these are $35. Get rid of this one. Keep this one. Do that. Knob Creek 9 years, $35. I mean, that's where you start looking at it. It's like, okay, that's age dated 9 years, but this is super interesting. And if you're looking at standard like Maker's Mark, which is $35, it's like pass. That's a solid pass right now, you know? You can get a bourbon that doesn't have a ton of complexity for a lot cheaper than that. You can buy Rebel 100, which is a weeder with higher proof and maybe a little bit more complexity. And so, I don't know, maybe we should just start doing price comparisons instead of just straight buy, bar, or pass. So I was expecting to say bar or pass on this because I was going to be stubborn. And I think I'm probably a buy. I'll let it open up and revisit, but I think that's a buy. At minimum, it's a bar, but it's probably a buy. It's pretty good. Dadgummit, they did a good job with that one. Why are they selling that Pipe Dream? It's horrible. And it's more expensive. Go with this one. Go with the Lost Monarch. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do tonight. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for saying what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for all of you for watching, for giving me a thumbs up, for supporting the show for so long, as I know a lot of you have. Natalie and Jason, like I said earlier, they mean a lot to me and they've done a lot for us. So that's not to lessen the dozens of names I could list off. But it's just like they're an exceptional couple to know. So cheers to them. Happy Thanksgiving to them. I also want to say thanks to Melissa Shriver, who I mentioned earlier with the podcast coin. She's one of the more selfless humans I know as well, and has done a lot for me in Greece as well. Hard worker and doesn't do stuff for the glory. She helps people do a lot of merch stuff and could actually make a lot more money off of it than she does. So I'm thankful for her and all the stuff she's done for us. But when you buy something from the podcast, it helps out her as well because she does that for us. So go to the podcast.com/store. Maybe pick up one of these challenge coins that she helped design and get made, a t-shirt, a hat. They're all done by her and really special because we're not just ordering bulk from somewhere. She's doing all our merch for us. So like even this hat, the faux Metallica hat that I'm wearing on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube. So I'm thankful for her and I'm thankful for a lot of people. Thankful for everyone that watches, everyone that is here. Thankful for Grease. And I'm thankful for, just living in a great time in a country where we can go live on the internet and talk about whiskey. That's, not something everyone can do. So thank you all. I hope you have a great week. I will be probably back here next Monday. So I'll see you there. I'll maybe do another call-in show. Maybe I'll get more creative, but I appreciate all your support. And you can support us directly at patreon.com/thepodcast. I'm going to go do a quick after party. You guys can hop on StreamYard if you want. If you're a patron, it's already posted. So go check that out. And let's see, if you want exclusive single barrels, if you want to be a part of that, right now we have a Penelope blend that is incredible that James Smith did. It's called Elegance. Really good. We also have a Starlight VDN. It's also really good. Check that out at oakandthieves.com. It'd be a great Christmas present for someone to sign them up for oakandthieves.com and maybe order a bottle or two and like tie subscription around it. I'm a thinker. That's a really good Christmas present. Or gift it to yourself for Christmas. Or tell your significant other, hey, this is what I want you to give me. I already did it for you. So oakenthieves.com. It's set up through Patreon, but that's the easiest way for us to run the club. Other than that, go to whiskeytainment.com if you're interested in looking at Whiskey Weekend. And we don't know Jack, but we'll drink it.